Hello again for the second time just now, Tom.
No, it's the first time. Don't be silly. Ha 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 ha.
This is not the second take.
No.
I don't make mistakes.
Is this a direct follow-on from last video?
Pretty
or
much.
Have we skipped some time and there's a fireplace in the room to the side? Did we finish with that last time?
Probably skip time, honestly, I'm not too sure.
Right, okay, cool. So we're doing the really crappy lounge area?
This
the
is
living room.
the living room. That's
Right.
the where blah blah blah. Where they spend most of their time, with Marge's painting of the boat in the background, the red sofa with Homer's groove, and their really shoddy old TV. They have this big stereo.
Isn't it
their
on like a
window.
cabinet though?
Yeah, I kind of do a makeshift sort of thing, you'll see. I don't know if it works, I think it was alright. I sort of combine that with a table, and I think it looks passable. Not that one. And then it froze. I thought I'd leave in my frustrated mouse wobbling. There we go. Yeah, I mean, there it is. When we finished
not
off
bad.
last time. Thank you. Because
Yeah.
they have a cabinet thing with their stereo.
Sims doesn't have any cabinets.
It technically does,
Does it?
but not the kind that you're thinking of. Don't steal my Jaffa cake, that's for after we finish the video, just because you already finished yours. Jaffa cakes, are they taxed like biscuits or cakes?
No, they're cakes.
They are cakes, they're
the
too soft.
government wants them to be considered biscuits so they can increase the tax on them.
Yeah, but they're clearly not biscuits. They're not crunchy at all.
Are they cakes?
They're like tiny, almost flat
Biscuit-sized
cakes.
cakes.
Biscuit-sized, kind of flat cakes
And
that
they're sold
resemble
in the
biscuits.
biscuit aisle.
Yeah, but they're not biscuity.
Next to the biscuits.
Are they crumbly? No. They are soft and spongy, like cake. What, do you think they're biscuits?
I don't know what a Jaffa cake is.
I mean, it's called a Jaffa cake.
We've got a Jaffa.
Anyway, those tome things, they were meant to resemble their photo albums. Remember when Homer does a fire drill? Oh, sorry, I got stuck in the cupboard there. Remember when Homer does a fire drill for some reason or another, and Marge grabs their photo albums, I think. That's what those were meant to resemble. Stop playing with popcorn. It makes it sound like we're just surrounded by food. I record my videos in the pantry. I'm kidding, we don't have a pantry. What?
Isn't the cupboard just a pantry?
I think the pantry is meant to be a room.
Really?
It's like a room.
People have rooms just filled with tins?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bilbo Baggins has one, remember? In The
I
Hobbit.
don't remember.
Well, he does.
Cool.
This is the kitchen. So the thing with the Simpsons house is it's very bright. If you lived there, I'm sure the colours would make you feel nauseous most of the time. Their cabinets are actually, all of the cabinets in the house, including their bedside tables and desks, are normally like red and purple together. While The Sims has some vibrant purple and red stuff, I just didn't think it suited it. So I took some artistic liberties, I guess, and just used these. I gave them a bright red fridge. A lot of the stuff in this house is already bright and overwhelming, so yeah. Tom is just checking his phone because recording videos is not important or a priority to him.
My phone. No.
It's
I'm
it's
not.
on your thigh.
I'm not.
Okay, Tom. The kitchen was a bit hard because I had to figure out how to put in their table with the doorway behind it into their other dining room that they use about twice. We did figure it out. We moved some walls a little bit. I think that's off screen because it was just a bit boring and it took me like 15 minutes to decide where the walls should go.
Did you, do you attempt to stick something on the fridge here?
No.
No?
But I found out in the Sims group the other day, someone posted saying, did you realise that when you leave a note on the Parenthood notice board thing, you can clip it to the fridge?
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I read
That's
that like
really
last
cool.
night. So that is really awesome. I never realised, because I do not dedicate enough of my time in this to actual gameplay. But that is really neat. So apparently that's the thing you can do on the Parenthood board like that. You probably know what I'm talking about. The board thing where you can leave notes. Yeah, anyway.
Of course, the board thing.
The board thing.
Right.
Yes, that. If you leave a note on that for someone, you can actually, I think, put it in your inventory and you can put it on the walls and I think the fridge, judging by what I saw in a group I'm in on Facebook the other day. because I have too much free time. This is the table they have in their kitchen, but they also have the dining room one, so we meander around with this for a while and do our best with it and ultimately change it. I believe I make the garage, I drag that wall along just to make the garage a tiny bit smaller and the dining room less of just a long rectangular room. When I recorded the cinematic sort of footage at the end of this, unfortunately their neighbours came over to do the welcome wagon thing, and when you ignore them they get horribly upset, like, I guess we're not welcome here, and suddenly your relationship with them is like -50. I mean, that's not really a thing we do in the UK, I don't think. We don't welcome neighbours here.
Nope.
No. I'd find that unnerving. It seems really sweet and polite to do, but I think here it's just bred into us that you should not interact with people. Like, it's literally on the trains, if you go on the underground, there's normally signs, like, there's a sign about a comedy TV station channel. I sound like an alien sometimes when I forget words of things, like, ah yes, I'm human, I watch the comedy stations. Yeah, there's a channel called Dave, in fact that's probably in most places. I think it's on Sky, I'm not sure. Anyway, they have an advert in the underground it just says, you know, avoid eye contact with everyone on the underground forever. And it's true. It's really awkward when you make eye contact with someone on public transport. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's like you can look away, but you're spending like another half an hour with them on that same bus or train, probably, and it's just awkward. Sometimes people stare at you, and I don't think they realise they're staring at you, because you glance at them, and you think you're both going to look away, but they don't. And sometimes I think they're staring sort of through you and thinking about stuff, and they don't notice that they're actually looking right at you.
You're just saying that because there are always people looking at you. Well, because you're always saying that person won't stop looking at me.
Well, that happened the other day. You saw that person staring at us on the bus.
I know, while we were crossing the road, there's just some dudes just looking out this window, just looking right at us.
Yeah, we were on the way to the gym, and there was...
Like people were slightly dead inside or something.
Yeah, there was a row of traffic, and we were crossing the road, and this guy, he was in the driver's seat, by the way, he was the one driving, but he was leaning out of his car window and just staring at us. Like, literally at us. He watched us cross the road and, like, was looking at us as we walked past his car. He was just staring at us, and he looked angry, but I think he was probably just concentrating on whatever he was thinking about. But it was weird. Oh yeah, so here was my attempt at Santa's Little Helper's kennel. I
Cute.
made an attempt. It's not actually accessible.
Why can't you make a kennel again? Because roofs have to be on...
Roofs would snap too high up.
Right.
But I used like a makeshift roof, and it kind of works. Also, I put a mouse hole there and just increased the size of it, but you could actually put a dog flap or cat flap on there, and that would probably look a lot better than that. I just wanted that really American kennel look where they just have the open doorway thing. I've never had a dog, so I've never had a kennel. But then again, I've been to, like, some of my friends have dogs, but none of them have dog houses. I think in the UK... Are they a thing? I've never been to someone's house and they've had a dog house. Here a lot of people's back gardens are smaller, I think. It's because we're in the city, we're in London, so usually people's gardens are either communal shared areas, the balcony of a flat, or just quite small. Where we are, we have this big communal shared place, so our cats probably think they're really rich.
Yeah.
Because outside it's just like a massive patch of green and trees.
Yeah.
And the cat's probably like, wow, we must be the richest cats in town. It's like we share this place with about 100 other people. But they don't know. There's quite a few cats who live here. I think there are more cats who live around here than dogs.
Well, dogs aren't allowed to be out without walking, but I think there are.
What, more cats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who own more cats here than dogs.
Yeah. It seems like every time I go outside I see someone else's cat. I think our younger cat Bucky is friends with every cat in the area, whereas our old cat Gizmo. She doesn't like cats and doesn't get on with them, but she doesn't mind dogs. She's friends with one of our neighbour's dogs, Peaches, who is very cute and has a tiny tail and is always wearing a jacket, and her owner actually knitted her this really cute mustard yellow scarf, which I must say seems particularly on trend.
On trend?
Very, yes. You saw her, that's... Peaches should be in London Fashion Week for pups. What? Why?
I agree.
Yeah. She rocks mustard yellow. I played with the walls around their bedrooms for a long time because I didn't know how thin the hallway should be, but at the same time Lisa needed a bookshelf behind her desk. That said, however, I spent too long looking at room plans and it made it more difficult, I think, because their rooms just change so much. We said this in the last video, but every room in the Simpsons house, in shape, size, and furnishings, is just altered every other time you see it. I do remember how their bedrooms look for the most part, especially Lisa's, because she's often at her desk. But I just tried to make it... tried to make it accurate, but at the same time workable in The Sims, for what that's worth. So I did my best. Unfortunately, there are no saxophones, obviously. I think we need a music pack and a fitness pack, because there's the musical aspiration, but there's not I feel like there's not enough branches, and it'd be cool if your teenage Sims could just start a band.
Yeah. Like
teenagers do. They're all like, yeah.
Crazy kids.
Crazy kids and their musical things. But yeah, that'd be cool. There should be more like after school stuff, but then again, there's no even school stuff, which is annoying. But yeah, I really don't like the furniture I used in this build.
Whose room is this? Is this Lisa's one?
Yes.
Is that the Corey allegory?
Yes,
Laurie,
that was meant. Thank
Corey?
you. Yes, it was meant to be Corey.
Yeah.
There are no like handset phones in The Sims. Everyone has a mobile.
Yes.
But there are no phones I can just put down on the wall.
I don't remember if they had phones in the old one.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah. That's one thing I remember. They actually did have like...
Oh, like blocky white phones you put on the wall or something.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like in real life. My mum has one of those big blocky phones still, but even my granddad, when his phone stopped, the big house phone stopped working, he just didn't bother getting a new one. He has a mobile and he's alright with using it, kind of. So that's good enough. I still remember their phone number though, their house phone. That's the only phone number I can ever remember, my grand's and granddad's home phone number. This is Bart's room. And in Bart's room, it's a definitive Sims moment for me. It's the first and only time I have ever used that clown poster.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it's a sad clown, but Krusty the Clown is quite a sad human being, so it worked fine. We can just imagine that Bart took that photo of him when he was going through that crisis of his, and he took a bath at the Simpsons house. And
which crisis?
About the 5th one, maybe.
The one where he needed his own special, or the one where he was trying to
reform his image,
or the one where he was getting back with his dad.
No, not the dad one, not the dad. Was it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Not the daughter one, that's for sure. I hate that one. But yeah. Bart has a lot of Krusty the Clown memorabilia. I couldn't really do that, so I just stuck some toys around. And there's also that episode where Bart breaks his leg, which we brought up last time, and he has that telescope, so I got that big telescope and minimised it to be a reasonable size. It's not usable, however, because this telescope you need to get inside of it to use it, but it looks the part, and unfortunately we don't have like just a usable small one, which is unfortunate. That could be really cool. That's what we need. School in The Sims. We just do. We just do, honestly. Like, it's so boring having your Sims go to work and school and just waiting at their house staring at the walls. There are 3 careers in which you can follow your Sims to work, which is cool, but I want to follow my Sims to school. And there needs to be more school, just things like some Sims should want to be popular, some should want to join the art kids. There should be cliques, because The Sims, I feel, is a really American game. So there should be that old clique thing, like in High School Musical or whatever. The jocks, the nerds and all that.
It could be quite
The
fun.
music geeks. There should be instances where your Sim stuffs someone else into a locker or gets stuffed into a locker, and there should just be teenage drama-y sorts of things. That'd be nice. And then after-school clubs, and then the after-school clubs can like help determine your career. So if your Sim is active in like sports, you could join a sports club after school, like baseball or football, like actual football, like what Americans call soccer, stuff like that. And then if they do well at it, they should earn a scholarship to university, and that could be neat. Or even maybe like you get the random messages where the game is like, oh, your Sim was scouted out by an agent, do they want to join this team? And that you could maybe decide between if they go to university or just get into a career right away. I don't know, things like that. And then sponsorships could be a thing. Anyway, we're getting in too deep. We're still doing Bart's room though. It was kind of hard.
Just because it was a lot of their bedrooms are barren.
Yeah, they just have tables.
They have random things when they
and
need
random
to.
things about the story.
Because Lisa plays a saxophone, did you put like a violin in there or something?
Yeah, I put a violin in.
Right.
Yeah. Those letters on Bart's desk were meant to be a reference to when he's posing as Woodrow and writing to Edna Krabappel. Yours, Woodrow.
Woody.
And then I just made his room really messy. On the roof, like you suggested last time, Tom, I stuck some balls up there, like a tennis ball, basketball, and a football, soccer ball, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the correct term is football. And then just a box of camping supplies, which was meant to be a reference to season 1, where they went camping, i.e. my favourite episode ever. There's the telescope, which isn't usable, because it's meant to be big, but you can pretend. Everyone likes imagination. When I was a kid, my cousin, he's 2 years younger than me, so we grew up together, we were always playing together. But his older brother was like, he's 10 years older than him, 7 years older than me. Oh, there's a slight weird half-year gap. But anyway, yeah. Every time me and my younger cousin were playing together, we'd be like, okay, so imagine this. And then sometimes his older brother would come out and make fun of us for it.
Imagine this. Imagine this.
Yeah. And we were just like...
There's acne on his face and shit.
Probably. But oh well. But then we got blamed for so much stuff. Like, when my older cousin's friend broke his Xbox, he thought it was me and my younger cousin. But we did complete his copy of Halo, which is probably why he got mad at us, but we went in his room anyway. What else were we gonna do? Oh, we made mud pies and stuff. That was a good time. Did you ever make mud pies?
No.
Oh. Really? That's kind of sad.
What do you mean that's kind of sad?
Anyway!
We just pour water into a load of crab and then go...
We collected flowers.
With your hands.
We picked my grand's flowers as well. Anyway, bye. See you next time.
Oh, see you everyone. Enjoy this show reel.
Bye. hello. Don't forget, as usual, to like and subscribe if you want to like and want to subscribe. Okay, bye.